but our spirit never died. As the great spiritual leader Swami Vivekananda had once said, be a hero always. Say, I have no fear. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. It goes without saying that all of us have been greatly discomforted by this ongoing pandemic and its impact on our social and professional lives. But I'm positive that this pandemic has pushed the limits for all, and we will be triumphant by overcoming all the challenges that life has thrown upon us. The famous spiritual leader Neil Donald Walsh said, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And yes, discomforted we were with the business being shut, revenues going down, and the social unrest all around us. But hopefully, this lockdown has given us a lot of time to introspect our goals, and we have brushed our skills and have added more to our arsenal and have learned our lessons to achieve those goals. One of the smartest minds of Indian history was Chanakya, and I quote from a book authored by our Nanik Rupani ji, and it says, lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. Tough times is what teaches a lot of lessons. It is now our duty to remember these lessons learned in these times and implement them in our lives. The role of a leader has never been more challenging in a long, long time like it is today. The Buddhist tradition describes three styles of compassionate leadership. The trailblazer, who leads from the front, takes risks, and sets an example. The ferryman, who accompanies those in his care and shapes the ups and downs of the crossing. And the shepherd, who sees every one of his flock into safety before himself. Three styles, three approaches, but what they have in common is an all-encompassing concern for the welfare of those they lead. Today, we are fortunate to have Sister Shivani ji, who will guide us spiritually and teach us some life and management lessons. And I'm sure this will greatly help us steer our ship to the direction that we want to take it to. Welcome, Sister Shivani ji, and thank you for obliging us. With this, I would like to hand over the proceedings to my friend and my colleague, Saurabh Shah, who is the second Vice President of the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Western India Council. Over to you, Saurabh. Have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Naushad. Namaste to all our dear participants from various spheres who have joined this evening to hear the doing of spiritual teaching, Sister Shivani ji. Friends, spiritual values help in integrating attitude of human resource for attaining healthy atmosphere in an organization. In fact, spirituality accelerates technology with the increased awareness of us as life itself. Management is the spirit of managing business, people, and self. But pervading everything is the spirit of spirituality in all kinds of professions, vocations, where the karma lies. We are humbled and fortunate to have with us this evening Sister Shivani ji. It is indeed an honor and privilege to introduce Didi to this august gathering. Didi is an electronic engineer from Pune University. She is a renowned teacher and a practitioner of Raj Yoga meditation of the Brahma Kumaris for over 2 decades. In March 2019, she was awarded the prestigious Nari Shakti Puraskar, the highest civilian honor for women in India, for her role in transforming human behaviors. Her practical application of spiritual principles on the TV programs, Awakening with Brahma Kumaris, for over 12 years has empowered people to overcome issues of emotional distress, depression, and relationship conflicts. She has been appointed as Goodwill Ambassador by the World Psychiatric Association. Friends, before I invite Shivani ji, I would like to inform you all that you can submit your questions on the Q&A box, which will be addressed post the address of Shivani ji. Now, I would like to invite Sister Shivani ji to share her thoughts on the topic of spiritual and management. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti and good evening. It was lovely to hear Brother Naushad and Saurabh, and so beautifully brought out the 3 types of compassionate leadership. And at every point, all the 3 leadership points had the focus on the self. And yet, if we ask ourselves, which means we go to our life before COVID, and while we were taking care of everything around us, which means taking care of our work, taking care of our people, taking care of our families, taking care of our body. We were, of course, taking a lot of good care of our body, taking care of nature, taking care of society. We take care of so many things. We are responsible for so much. And in fact, we always seem to be short of time because there was so much to do, more than we could handle in a day. How many times did taking care of the self ever come on the agenda? Leave alone being on the priority. Was it ever even on the agenda to take care of the self? Not take care of the body, take care of the self. And self means the energy which is the master of this body. We call ourselves a human being. So it's 2 words, human and being. So human comes from the word humus. In Hindi, it is mitti, humus. So body is made of 5 elements of matter, that is humus. And so human plus being. And being is that energy. We can call it by different words. We can call it consciousness, we can call it light, we can call it power, we can call it soul, we can call it spirit, we can call it energy. Words doesn't matter. Important is to understand that this is a combination of 2 things, that which is visible and that which is not visible. But what is not visible is experienced throughout the day. So sometimes when we hear the word spirituality, we have a very different picture before us. And I've met people also who say, oh, I'm not interested in spirituality. Recently, I met someone and the person said, I am spiritual. I'm not, this is not for me. And someone says, it's too early for me. So why do we say these words? I'm not spiritual, or I'm not, it's too early for me to be spiritual. I'll think about it after I finished all my responsibilities. We only say all this because we do not have a complete picture of what is spirituality. Because spirituality for us otherwise looks like somebody wearing like this, a white dress or an orange dress, and someone having withdrawn from their work, family, spending a lot of time in a place of worship or an ashram, not connected with day-to-day responsibilities of family and work. So that's an image that we have created about spirituality. And that's why we say, this is not for me, and definitely not for me right now. Maybe I'll think about it later. But that's not spirituality. Spirituality is here. That what we look is a way of living. That's a lifestyle. So someone has chosen that lifestyle, that instead of taking care of business and job, if their family gives them the freedom to choose their life another way, then they surrender or use their life for service to humanity. They choose not to earn and achieve, but they choose to be of seva to humanity. But that's just a way of living. That is just a way of living. Spirituality is different. Spirituality is here. Spirituality comes from the word spirit. And spirit means energy. Now, this energy is the mind which thinks, the intellect which takes a decision, and the personality that gets created. So we can see the body. Our doctor can show us the brain because that's all physical, it's matter. But you ask your doctor to show you how the mind looks, and they'll not be able to show you. Ask them to show you the intellect which takes all the decisions, and they cannot show you. Ask them to show those sanskars, the personality of every individual. They cannot show you because that's energy. So that's not visible. That energy is called spirit in a spiritual vocabulary. So spirit, and what is the original quality of this spirit? It's peace, love, purity, power, compassion, wisdom, and bliss and happiness. 7 qualities. In Hindi, it's called Sato Guni Atma, which means the soul is an embodiment of 7 qualities: peace, purity, power, love, knowledge, happiness, and bliss, which means that is our original personality. It's like this dress, white. So the original color is white. But if I wear it throughout the day and I don't take care, at the end of the day, the white may not be as white it was in the morning. So there will be stains. But I need to have the knowledge that this is just the stain, the white is my original color. But if I start believing that the stain is my original color, then I do nothing to remove that stain. And after some time, I think the stain is the color of my sari or my dress. Same thing happened with the soul, the spirit. Purity, peace, love, power, original color, which means original nature. Life after life, our ways of thinking, living, behaving, somewhere, sometime, we created a trace of ego, a trace of lust, a trace of anger, greed, jealousy, hurt, aggression, irritation. This was not our nature. It was just something we created in a specific situation. And that was the first time we had the stain on this pure, white, divine energy. And that was the first trace of stain. But we did nothing to clean it that time. And then stain after stain, after stain, after stain. And after some time, we started saying these stains are normal. So the personality today that we are, we say stress is normal. We say anger is normal. We say comparison and competition is normal. Jealousy is normal. Getting hurt is normal. Not being able to forgive and forget is normal. In the current scenario, fear is normal. Anxiety is normal. Insecurity is normal. This is one belief system. Now just hold these 2 belief systems and check which one is true. One belief system says stress, anger, ego, greed, jealousy, insecurity, fear, and the whole list. We know what comes under that list. That is normal. Another list is compassion, gratitude, acceptance, forgiveness, letting go, caring, sharing, happiness, bliss, peace. This is another list. So we have 2 lists here. Now what we are doing is we are living by this list of uncomfortable emotions, and we are seeking this list of pure feelings. So we live and create stress, but we want peace. We create ego, we create jealousy, but we want love and acceptance. We get angry, but we want patience and compassion. So these are these 2 different lists. And that's why the need for spirituality. So what is spirituality? A personality of the spirit. So spirituality, break it into 2 words: spirit, personality, which means an individual who is living through this second list, which means who's living through the original nature of this personality, which means an individual who has started to clean the stains and allowing the white to emerge again. And each one of us is spiritual. There is nobody, there is no one who can say, I'm not spiritual. Each one of us is spiritual, Because how many times in the day we're actually living through this list? Compassion, caring, sharing, happiness, bliss, peace. We're living through this list, but then sometimes we go towards this other list. So tomorrow you check, okay, how many times during the day you are spiritual, and which means you're living out of this list, which means thinking, speaking, behaving out of this list. And then sometimes during the day, we shift towards that list. And when we shift towards that list, then for those few moments, we have shifted away from spirituality, which means we have shifted away from a spiritual personality and we have gone to a personality of ego. So there are two personalities, a spiritual personality and an egoistic personality. Ego means I think my identity is all that I have acquired in this lifetime, which means my body, my name, my role, my relationships, my position, my business, my achievements. I think that is my identity. And that's how I look at other people. And so my acquired identity interacts with the acquired identity of other people. And that's when we say ego clash. We say ego clashes. We say ego got hurt. We said don't take it personally. We use all these vocabulary, but we don't pause to check what does it actually mean that the ego clashed? What does it actually mean that the ego got hurt? Where is that ego? That ego is here. That ego is a person who does not know that I am a pure, divine, peaceful, powerful spirit. Ego is only that. So ego is a person who doesn't know who I am. And that's why, like brother quoted Swami Vivekananda, so Swami Vivekananda said, who am I? If we find the answer to this question, who am I? Life will change. Because when I don't know I am this, then I am everything else. And that's when I'm living through ego. So spirituality is very, very simple. Very, very simple. It only means remembering and being in the consciousness that all that I have is mine. Even to this body, we don't call it I, we say my body, my hand, my head, my child, my spouse, my job, my business, my country, my religion, my profession, my caste. Everything is my. We don't say I, it's everything is my. Then who am I? I, for who all this is mine. But during the day, while living with family, while working, do I live in this consciousness that I am a pure, powerful, peaceful being, and most important, talking to another divine being, which means it's a soul to soul connection, not an ego to ego connection, not a role to role connection, but a soul to soul connection. When we start living through a soul to soul connection, life will be at a different vibration altogether. So it's really not about spirituality and management. It's actually spirituality is management. Because unless I know myself, I can't manage myself. I can't take care of myself. And unless I cannot take care of myself, I'm not too sure how we are able to manage other things in life. Can you visualize a person who is not managing their own mind, their words and behavior, and is managing thousands of people and a huge empire? Who is saying, my mind is not in my control. It was a slip of the tongue. I didn't mean to say it and it just slipped out. Oh, it just happened. I raised my hand. I didn't mean to do it. Is saying that this is not in my control. So I'm not being able to manage myself, but I have to manage so much outside. It is only then when we try to manage the world without managing ourselves, it is only then stress gets created. Because without taking care of ourselves, we are taking care of everything outside. It's only then the pressure starts affecting the mind. Stress is equal to pressure divided by resilience. Formula learnt in school. We thought only physics. We didn't even know that one day we will be able to talk about it in emotions. So stress is equal to pressure divided by resilience. Now, pressure is our situations in life. So current scenario, our numerator has increased. Yes, it has. This is life. Sometimes the numerator will increase, sometimes the numerator will decrease. Numerator is not a constant factor. It's the pressures of our life. For a school-going child, just their exam the next day is a numerator. It's a pressure. So pressures change in life. Pressures increase and decrease because pressure is dependent on the outer world. This is the outer world. Even my body is my outer world, and everything else is my outer world. Denominator, resilience, which means inner world. Inner world. Stress is equal to outer world divided by inner world. Pressure divided by resilience. Outer world, not in my control. Pressure, not in my control. Denominator, resilience, completely in our control. Here, inner power, completely in our control. But what we've done for the last few decades, we changed that equation. And we said, inner world, not in my control. Outer world, I have to control. Because one of the two worlds has to be our way if we want to lead a normal, peaceful, happy life. One of the two worlds has to be my way. Simple. If I'm not taking care of my mind, but everything outside is perfect for me. My spouse is my way, my children are my way, my employees are my way, the traffic on the road is my way, everything, the weather is my way. If everything is my way, I will always be happy and peaceful. I need to do nothing. I don't need spirituality. I don't need meditation. I need nothing. Just the world needs to be my way. So if the outer world is my way, I will always be happy. If the outer world is not my way, then I need to take care that I think right about the situation and the scenario, which means I think right in every pressure, and I keep that denominator resilience very high, which means I keep my inner world my way. Simple, someone doesn't behave right with me, outer world. They don't speak right to me, outer world. They are not in my control, however hard I might want them to be, how much ever I try, they are not in my control. So they go on speaking and behaving the way they believe is right, my outer world. How I think about them, how I speak to them, how I behave with them is my inner world. What we thought was that our inner world is dependent on the outer world. This is when we were not spiritual. Because spirituality will remember, I am the master. I am the energy. I create my every thought and feeling. Ego, spirituality forgotten, ego said, I get angry because of, I'm irritated because of, I am hurt because of, I'm happy because of, which means my inner world, not in my control, my inner world completely dependent on my outer world is what we thought. We believed that my inner world is completely dependent on my outer world. And why did this happen? Because this inner world had become slightly weak, physically. Today, each one of us, we can walk, we can move around, we can run, we can do all our work because we are physically healthy. We are physically strong. We can climb 5 flights of stairs. We are physically strong. Now, suppose something happens to the body and we are ill. Now we need help to walk even from one room to the other. I need to hold someone's hand. That's when I've become dependent. I lose my physical independence and I become physically dependent because I am unwell. But if I realize that I've become physically dependent, I'll do something to heal myself. Good diet, exercise, nutrition, good sleep, and within some days, I will be back to my normal physical health and I'll be able to do all my things on my own. So immediately, I shift from my physical dependence to physical independence by healing my body. Now the mind, when it started becoming dependent on situations and people, we didn't even realize we were becoming dependent We said this is normal. They said like this, so it's normal to feel bad. Even family and friends said, yeah, it's normal to get hurt. We started labeling emotional dependence as normal. This is the first step to forget spirituality. First step, forgetting I am the master, I am the creator of every thought and feeling, I am the creator of even this body. It's I, first step forgotten, and we said I am dependent on people and situations, which meant giving the remote control of my mind to people and situations. You press the button and that's how I will feel. This is what we believed, even though even that was not true, but this is what we believed. And that's when this inner power, soul power, spiritual power started depleting. A life of emotional dependence. Leadership quality, leadership, all the three leaderships that were shared, whether the leader is in the front, guiding everybody, the leader is in the ferry, hand-holding everybody, or the leader is at the back, motivating everybody to go in the forefront and taking care of them from behind. Either of these three qualities needs emotional strength, emotional independence. We were not taking care of that, and there came this situation of COVID. And when came this situation, together the world said fear and insecurity is normal. Few minutes, few hours, few days of fear, the mind can handle. Now it's been 3 months and might be a couple of more months. And we are saying fear and anxiety is normal. That has started taking a toll on many, many minds. So there's been a huge rise in mental health issues, in emotional health issues. There's been an increase in domestic violence because this battery was still not being taken care of. So the first step towards spirituality, and that spiritual step will take us towards self-management. So the first step is, I am emotionally independent. I am emotionally independent. It's a very interesting way of living. Just start checking it from today. That whatever you feel here, first step, whatever you feel here, don't blame it on the outside world. Don't say I'm feeling like this because of. So don't put the finger out. When I put the finger out, I've given my power away and to the world, and I say, okay, control me. But I say, I'm feeling like this because I created it. So even if I create anger, irritation, hatred, insecurity, whatever, I will say, I created it. When I say I created it, because it's the truth, I keep the power to myself. Conserve energy. Don't give energy away. Leadership means high vibrational energy. Leadership means high vibration aura. Leadership is not so much about what we speak, how we work, how we behave. Leadership is how we are inside. How we are inside. What we are outside can be changed. Many of us know how to do it. Check if you know how to do it. I could be thinking different and speaking different. As a leader, it's a chance that you may be creating fear inside and yet saying to your team, don't worry, everything will be all right. We're all together. We will come out of this. Fear inside, motivation in words. Current situation, this leadership will not work. It will not work because there is so much fear on the other side that you cannot heal people. Actually, it doesn't work most of the times. It hardly ever works. But still, right now, it will not work because there is so much fear and anxiety on the other minds that your words will not be able to change their feelings and emotions. It will not. They will listen and they will say, yes, I should not get scared. 5 minutes later, they'll go back to their own fear and anxiety. So words will not motivate. Body language, behavioral pattern will not motivate. Right now, the power to influence, the power to inspire, the power to empower, and the power to motivate will only come from a very, very powerful, right thinking mind, and which means a very powerful energy field. Our energy field, our aura, is the first level of communication. That aura influences the other person's aura, which means your energy field influences the energy field of your team. You may not be very good to speak at. You may not have very great communication skills. You may not be able to give great presentations. But if you are very powerful here, that's leadership quality. Everyone in your team, everyone in your team will be influenced, inspired, and empowered by you, even if you do not have anything very perfect outside, but perfect energy field. So now is not the time that we can live a life where we are different inside and different outside. We need very, very high vibrational energy field to be able to heal people's minds, to be able to heal people's minds, and to be able to bring them out of their pain and insecurity, unite them, and then handhold them towards their work. When people come back to work, they might not be in the same emotional health as they were 3 months back. Some of them have taken very good care of themselves, and they will come to you now at workplace emotionally stronger than before. But some of them have not taken care of themselves, and they will come a little depleted than what they were before. So leadership quality right now, like we are saying, never before has a leader have to take such decisions. Agreed, very true. But maybe never before has a leader to do taking care of people's minds more than ever before. This is a leadership quality we are still not thinking and talking about, because this will be the fundamental role when businesses start again full-fledged. Everybody back there, everybody in different emotional healths, different capacities to work, different capacities to adjust, adapt, different capacities to take pressures and responsibilities. Even before COVID, we were not in the best emotional and mental health, especially corporate India. Even before COVID was not. Depression symptoms were very high even before COVID. So a leader just needs to pause and check what's the current situation going to do to people's minds. So a leader needs to have very high vibrational energy field, and that will come from emotional independence. So first equation from today, never blame situations and people for how you're feeling. Just say, I created it, then decide I can change it. And third, create the right thought to change it, which we will do today, how we are going to do that. But important is shift from a life of being a victim, a slave to situations and people, to becoming a master. This is spirituality, becoming a master. And a master is self-management. And if I manage myself, then taking care of people comes very, very natural. It will be effortless taking care of people, because you're taking care of people through your authentic nature of compassion, care, purity, peace, and power. So emotional independence is the first thing. Second thing that the current situation requires from us. Situation is outside. How we think and speak about the situation will decide where destiny gets created. How we think and speak about the situation will decide where we go ahead from here, in our personal life, in our family life, in our professional life, and in the global situation. It's not the situation which will decide the destiny of 2020. A lot of people are writing off 2020 and saying, oh, 2020, nothing nice happening this year, business down, economy crashing, huge statements, very, very powerful statements, writing off this year. This year is a year of miracles. It's a choice what you want to create this year. Option. If you want, you can write off this year. And if you want, you can say 2020 is my year of miracle. This is the year to create miracles. Why? We've all heard and read stories, autobiographies of miracles. And we all like miracles. But what is a miracle? A miracle is only a mind which thought differently. A miracle is only a mind which rose above the situation. A miracle is only a mind which rose above public opinion. Let's say someone is injured or meets with an accident, surgery, post-surgery, doctor says 6 months of bed rest, and after that you will start walking with a stick. 8 to 9 months before you're able to walk on your own. Accurate medical prediction based on majority minds and bodies, how they would have responded to that accident or surgery. But one particular mind says, no, doctor, I have to stand up in 3 months. And 6 months down, I have a competition in which I'm going to take part. Doctor smiles and doctor says, yes, but this year you cannot take part. We'll think about it next year. Logical prediction, scientific prediction, everyone's opinion says that person cannot move for the next 6 months. But that mind does not believe that. That mind thinks differently. That mind lying down in bed visualizes differently. That mind feels differently. That mind perceives the situation differently. That mind vibrates a different energy to the body. And that mind changes his destiny. 3 months later, that person is standing and walking. And that day, everyone around them calls it a miracle. This is magic. How did he do this? So miracle is nothing else but a mind which rose above the situation, did not get affected by everybody's statistics, did not get affected by what everyone was saying about the situation, thought different, visualized different, and created a destiny of their choice, different from which everybody else had predicted. And then the world calls it a miracle. A baby was born, both arms were not there, both legs were not there. Visualize that baby, no arms, no legs. The world must have written off the destiny of that child that day. So what is this life of this child going to be? No arms, no legs. What life is this? Vegetable. All sorts of words must have been said. So much sympathy must have been there for that child that day. So many people must have cried that day. Today, that child travels all over the world and motivates people towards right and positive thinking. Destiny is here. Destiny is not here, and destiny is not here. Destiny is here in the way we think, speak, visualize, and perceive the situation. So this is the year to create miracles. And miracles are not created by different people. Miracles are only created by people who think differently. And each one of us has the capacity, because each one of us is a powerful soul, and we have the capacity to think different. So let's call 2020 a year of your own personal and professional miracle. So we're going to shift our vocabulary in terms of how we think and speak. What has happened in the last couple of months? Every thought and word was here, a very low vibrational frequency. Anyways, if you see, what's the global vibrational frequency right now? Very down. Global vibrational frequency means everyone's minds. Very down. Average must be around 20-30 right now. Needed is around 80-90. If we don't take care of our minds and take ourselves here, then this environmental frequency, and if we are just here, will start influencing us and pulling us down. That's why there is a rise in panic attack, anxiety attack, depression symptoms, crying, getting angry, shouting, violent. Why is this all happening in lockdown? People are safe at home because, one, they are not taking care of their mind. Second, the global vibrational frequency has started influencing them because they were very close there. So it goes here. So need of the hour, we can't be where we were before COVID. We have to go here, which means a vibrational frequency way up around 80-90. That is leadership quality. And that vibrational frequency means compassion, gratitude. power, fearlessness, and faith. Faith in yourself and faith in your ability to create a beautiful future ahead. That faith is a high vibrational frequency. So, what we are going to do as our first step is change the way we think and speak. In Hindi, it's a very beautiful line. Sankalp se siddhi. Sankalp means thoughts and siddhi means manifest. Sankalp se siddhi, which means thoughts manifest. We've all heard the quote, life is a manifestation of our thoughts. These were nice quotes. We used to share them, post them to, and send them to everybody. It's the time to live them now. Life is a manifestation of our thoughts. Life is not what happens in the world. Life is a manifestation of our thoughts. So all that we need to do is think right and we will change our destiny. So thinking right is now our responsibility. Simple steps, simple lifestyle changes to think right and shift towards a spiritual personality. First thing in the morning needs to be taken care of. It's very, very important. Our first hour of the morning and our last hour before sleeping are the two crucial times for emotional health. Two times for these inner power to be charged. What happened since the last 10, 20 years, and what happened especially with corporate India and the business world? Since the time we have technology, we were doing business even before we had technology. But since the time we have technology, we are only at work. Before we had technology, we had very specific times at work, specific times at home, specific time for myself, for my family. It was very, very sorted. But since the time we have technology and we're always connected, we are always at work, which means here we are always at work. Even at late night, we are at work. Even if you wake up in the middle of the night, you will take those 2 minutes to just go through if there is any email or message. You are at work here. First thing in the morning when you wake up, half eyes open, you look at your phone, you are at work. Sunday, sitting with family, you are at work because you're connected here. So think about it. When was the last day? Forget last day. When was the last hour when here you were not at work? And that's the reason why most minds are tired minds. Not just mind of the leader, but mind of the entire organization. And that's why every morning when you see people driving towards work, that enthusiasm, the vibrance, the creativity, it's not there on the face because they are tired minds. Tired minds going to work every single day. And that's why they are stressed. They are stressed because they are tired. If any leader really wants to increase the productivity of their business, they need to first take care of the minds of the people. And a simple way to do that is have cut-off times from work. And cut-off times means as an organizational decision, you have a time when people can connect with each other about work and when they cannot, which means let's say from 8 o'clock in the morning, depending of course what work we do and which country we are connected with, but I'm just saying normal for India. Let's say 8 o'clock in the morning, you begin thinking and talking about work, and let's stop by at least 8 or 9 in the evening. Work is one part of life. If we make work our life, then we have no time for the mind, no time for the body. We are sitting with the family, but not connected with the family. And then the result was we achieved a lot at work. We are extremely successful at work because we put in our whole attention and energy at work. But here stressed, here lifestyle diseases and relationships, we know what's happening, and nature, we know what's happening because we paid all attention only at work. So work is one part of life. So let's have cut-off times. Let us have cut-off times from work for our entire organization, which means clear instruction. After 9 o'clock, ideally it should be 8 o'clock, but still, after 9 o'clock, no one can call up each other, message, or email about work. About work. No phone calls, no emails, no messages about work, except for the day there is a crisis. And crisis is rare. Otherwise, we will connect tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. This is how we'll be able to take care of our minds and bodies. And if mind and body is energized, only then the human resources of an organization is taken care of. Only then next morning you will have fresh minds, creative minds, and most important, intuitive minds. What is the leadership needed in the current time? Intuitive leadership. Resilient leadership, which means emotionally very strong. Tired mind cannot be emotionally very strong. They will snap and get irritated for the smallest thing. Where is the power to tolerate, to adjust, to forgive and let go? They are fatigued. So let's have cutoff times from work. And first thing, let's have cutoff times for our own self. So let's keep the first hour of the morning for ourselves. This is the self-care time, the me time. A new habit from tomorrow morning. First thing in the morning, we will not look at our phone, which means we will not keep our phone near where we sleep. And we will not open our eyes like this first thing and look at the phone. Remember, as children, we were asked, who was the first person you saw in the morning? That's what decides how your day is going to be. Kiska chehra dekha tha subah subah? Nowadays, we don't ask that question because everyone sees only one face, their phone. So just first hour of the morning, please experiment with this. These phones were designed to make our life very comfortable, and they have made our life extremely comfortable. But if we don't take care how we use them, then the same gadget can become a very uncomfortable object for us. If we are not the master of the object, which means if I cannot control my phone, which means I don't choose when I will see it, how much I will see it. If I don't do that, then I am not the master of my phone. My phone has started controlling me. Every 5 minutes, I feel like looking at it. Is there any message? Is there? Then the phone has started controlling me. So the first 1 hour, I should have the power not to look at the phone. It's just a habit. Just think that you're sleeping for an hour more. Why it's important not to look at the phone first thing in the morning, which means not to look at the world news, not to look at work communication, not social media handles, and even not any family and friend messages. 1 hour in the morning. If I look at my phone in the first hour of the morning, then I consume the world onto my mind. This mind is like a blotting paper, absorption power very high in the morning. If I look at the phone, I consume the world onto my mind. And if I consume the world onto my mind, then as is the quality of the world, so is the quality of my mind. And then throughout the day, I live a life of dependency on the world. But if I don't look at the world first thing in the morning and I keep an hour for myself, then I begin the morning with a spiritual study. Spiritual study means consuming content which is pure, powerful, divine, which nourishes my mind. Nourishes my mind. Emotional health is created based on what we watch, read, listen. So please take care. What we watch, read, listen is who we become. And who we become is what manifests and creates destiny. So content connects to destiny. Content we consume. And if anybody draws a statistics chart, then media, social media, and all our platforms draw graph versus emotional and mental health of society. Direct connection. Direct connection between media, social media, digital platforms, and emotional and mental health of society. It's because what we consume is who we become, and who we become is what manifests. So first hour of the morning, consume pure content, meditation and spiritual study. It's like diet and exercise. Important first thing in the morning to connect to the higher power. Leader needs to energize from the higher power, intuitive power. All this activates in the early morning hours. A leader would always wake up early. And so, which means Leadership quality, very, very strict sleep hygiene, which means sleeping hours. 10 to 4 is the best sleeping time. 10 to 4 is the best sleeping time. By 4 to 5, we should be awake. That's the time of highest intuitive and creative powers. So you want to think different, think new, think what to do in the current scenario. That's the time. But for that, we need to sleep early. So first hour of the morning, spiritual study and meditation. Our thoughts manifest, and that means we need to take care of our thoughts. We need to take care of what we're going to speak. So affirmations. Affirmations means any thought we create repeatedly. So create a set of affirmations and use them many times in the day, and they will become a part of your personality. For the current situation, we've created 10 affirmations, which means 10 thoughts of who I want to become. First, I'm a powerful being, and which means I don't get affected by situations and people's behavior. I'm a powerful being. I'm a peaceful being. Anger, irritation is out. Third, I'm a fearless being, which means vibrations of fear around me will not touch me because I'm fearless. It'll be here. I'm a powerful being, peaceful being, fearless being. Fourth, my body is perfect and healthy and will always be. We're creating this thought so that we remove the thought, what if this happens to me? We talked about rebooting. Rebooting means everything has to change inside. I have to change that thought, what if this happens to me? And I replace it with, my body is perfect and healthy and will always be. Fifth affirmation, God's power and blessings is a circle of protection around me. Visualize a white divine light circle around you. Sixth affirmation, nothing can enter into this circle. Nothing can enter into this circle. This is my protection shield. Seventh affirmation, God's power and blessings is a circle of protection around my family, so that I remove the thought, what if anything happens to them? What if my child studying in another country alone and the statistics are high there? All these thoughts have to go because thoughts manifest. Thoughts deplete emotional and physical immunity system. Thoughts reach people and create anxiety in them. We have to think right. So God's power and blessings is a circle of protection around my family. Visualize that divine light around your every family member. Eighth affirmation, extremely important. God's power and blessings is a circle of protection around my work, which means my job, my business, my team, my organization. My organization is safe. My business is safe. There is abundance, wealth, and resources. Last 3 months, we've been thinking and talking too much about lack. Come here, come here, come here. We've all been talking about lack. The more we will think and talk lack, the more we will invoke that into our life. Think and speak about abundance. Just think, and it will start happening. I have abundance, wealth, and resources. For those who are leaders and decision makers of organization, create a pure intention. Just create the intention. The rest will happen. Create an intention. I will not ask anyone to leave. Suddenly, when this lockdown happened, very, very soon, there were huge statements all over media, social media, news debates, everyone coming and saying, oh, this is crisis. Now we will have to ask 20% people to leave, 30% people will leave, so many people will lose jobs, so many people will not get salaries. And while we were talking like that on platforms, we didn't even realize what impact it's having on people's minds sitting at home. The first wound here was the coronavirus. The second one was lockdown. It's not easy for many to be able to stay in small apartments 2 months, 24/7. And third wound, business and economic crisis. Everybody talking about it so easily, not even thinking what implication this is going to have on people's minds. So create a pure intention. They are family. They are family. It's tough times, but that doesn't mean you ask the family to leave. Take care. Take care of that family. Hold that family. And this is a time to create belongingness. This is the time to create unity. This is a time to create strength, which we might not have even been able to create before COVID. We can create it now. This is the time to create trust, and this is the time to earn blessings into the organization. When you give assurance and comfort to people's minds, they're not just people, they are families. We know that. So if you have 100 people working with you, it's 100 multiplied by 4 or 5, so around 500 minds will create a blessing for that organization. Spirituality means energy depends on what energy you receive from people. So if 500 people bless you means they are comfortable because of your intention and decision. That blessings becomes power. And when you have this power, that manifests. So blessings plays a very, very important role in spiritual power and creating a miracle destiny. Very, very important role. This is not the time to create pain. This is not the time to allow your team or their family to create pain with any trace of insecurity. And this is not the time to invoke pain into the organization. If someone goes into pain because of my decision, the energy is going to come into the organization. It may be times when we're not earning wealth, but never mind. We've earned a lot and we will earn a lot in our lifetime. This is the time to earn blessings. It's really the time. And when you earn blessings, it's a spiritual law. If you earn blessings, you will earn wealth more than your capacity. Because if you were as an individual working, you would work and earn in your capacity. But when you earn blessings, then you will achieve more than your capacity. So how much you work, more important is how you work. How much you earn. What did society do? Society labeled successful to people depending on how much they achieved, how much they earned. Spirituality says, how did you achieve? How did you earn? So more than how much we earn is important how we earn. How much we earn gives us comforts outside. How we earn gives us emotional and spiritual comfort, contentment and calm is going to be dependent on how we earn. So this is a time to take care of our people and invite blessings. So create a pure intention. I'm not going to ask anyone to leave. So protection circle around the workplace and an affirmation of abundance in wealth and resources. Ninth affirmation, God's power and blessings, a circle of protection around the world. See the world enveloped with divine light. My world is safe. And the last affirmation, that thing which has come on the planet is gone, gone forever, never to come again. It has to be our affirmation. We are not playing the role of counting statistics. That is someone else's role. Only 0.00001% people in the country have to calculate statistics. But because of media, everyone is thinking, talking, calculating statistics. And everyone is saying, oh, this year, 2 years, 3 years. If we think and speak like this, then we are only going to increase those statistics. But if we think and speak only of the solution, then we have the power to change the statistics. Statistics depends on current vibration of the planet. So let's create an affirmation that thing which had come is gone, gone forever. So 10 affirmations first thing in the morning. Powerful being, I'm a peaceful being. I'm a fearless being. My body is perfect and healthy and will always be. God's power and blessings, circle of protection around me. Nothing can enter into this circle. God's circle of protection around my family, circle of protection around my work, abundance, wealth and resources, pure intention, not asking anyone to leave, God's circle of protection around the planet, and last, that thing which had come on the planet is gone, never to come again. 10 thoughts. Let these be your first 10 thoughts in the morning. Create the thought and visualize it a couple of times in the morning, even before you get out of bed. Or sit separately and then create that and visualize that. What affirmation we create and what we visualize starts manifesting. So, first thing in the morning and last thing before going to sleep, let's create a habit of sleeping right, and which means at least 2 hours before we sleep, we disconnect from work. This mind cannot sleep in a turbulent overthinking mode. And that's why many of us are not sleeping right. We sleep enough, but we don't sleep right because we're sleeping with an overthinking mind. The mind has to slow down and then we have to sleep. So, at least 2 hours before we sleep, we have to disconnect from work. At least an hour before we sleep, we have to disconnect from all other media, social media platforms. Spend time with yourself, spend time doing nothing. We don't even remember before lockdown. When did we do nothing? Spend time listening to music. Last few minutes, 10 minutes at least. Again, study spiritual content, which means nourish your mind. Because what you put as the last thing in the morning, the last thing in the night, is the processing of content that will go on during the sleep. And that is what will slow down the mind and become a part of your personality. So 30 minutes study in the morning and 10 minutes study in the night. And the last thoughts before sleeping are those 10 affirmations again. So first in the morning and last 10 thoughts in the night. And just the last point is our diet. We have to take care of what we eat and drink. In Hindi, the line is very beautiful. Jaisa an, vaisa man, jaisa pani, vaisi vani. Which means food and water is not just nutrients. Food and water is vibrations. And the vibrations of food and water influence our mind and our words. I'm sure all of us are having a vegetarian diet right now. Doctors tell us we need the body to be alkaline, and so we need a vegetarian diet. But more than that, we need a vegetarian diet right now because of the vibrations. Non vegetarian, what's the vibration of it? Animal in a slaughterhouse. Anger, hurt, pain, fear, violence, death. And it comes on our plate and we call it health. Don't know how we call that health. It's proteins. It's not health, it's proteins. But because proteins is healthy, somebody said this is health. This is proteins with a vibration of all that happened in the slaughterhouse. So that's not the energy we can consume, at least right now. Right now, we have to finish our own fears and anxiety, cannot consume fear and anxiety from our meals. So let's experiment a vegetarian diet for the next couple of months. And maybe you're going to feel so light in the mind and body that you will continue with that diet for a lifetime. Energize your food and water before you consume it, which means you cannot consume food and water just as it is right now. Would be a very good idea to have spiritual songs or high energy words playing in the kitchen where your food is being cooked and where your drinking water is kept, because the water is right now carrying a vibration of fear. Please Google water memory. Water absorbs all the vibrations around it. The city, the country is in fear. And so that's the vibration of water. So even if you are not creating fear, just what we eat and drink starts having effect on our mind. So let's have high energy songs, prayers, mantras, spiritual songs, high energy words in the kitchen throughout the day. That is how food is cooked in temples and gurdwaras, high energy words, and that is what becomes prasad. So let's cook like that at home. It will have a healing effect on every family member. Just before eating, one ritual that we have to do just before eating: no phone, no TV. For the last few decades, eating has become like some side thing that we do. We're driving while eating, we're watching TV while eating, we're talking on the phone while eating, we're having business meetings while eating. Well, eating is a secondary thing and everything else is so important. Eating nourishes mind and body. So no phone, no TV for 10 minutes while eating, no business meeting while eating, no work discussion while eating, no problem discussion while eating, no argument while eating. Eating is going to create emotional health. So just have your 10 minutes meal in silence or just happy conversations. And just before you begin your meal, take that 10-second pause, connect to the higher power, and say your 10 affirmations. Say your 10 affirmations to your every meal, to your every glass of water, to your every cup of tea, coffee, milk. Apart from that, we don't drink anything else. That's not spiritual. That will deplete our vibrations. So energize your every meal and water, tea, coffee, milk with those 10 affirmations or any affirmation which you want to create, what you want to manifest. Because food and water will absorb those affirmations, then those affirmations will become your natural way of thinking, and then that will manifest and become your destiny. So 10 thoughts in the morning, 10 thoughts every time you eat and drink, and 10 thoughts before you sleep comes on an average about 15 to 20 times in a day. And if we pause for 20 seconds, 15 to 20 times in a day, it's very, very little time, but the impact is very, very, very deep. And if anyone does this 10 thoughts 15 times in a day, 30 minutes of consuming pure content, not looking at our phone first thing in the morning, last hour of the night, disconnect from work. If anyone does this even for 10 days, you will start seeing a shift in yourself. And of course, staying away from the world news. Consuming too much of the news of the country and the world is having a deep impact on the mind. Few minutes of print media will update us on what's happening. We don't need to keep consuming it. It's not healthy for us. So just the right way of thinking and the original quality of the soul is a spiritual personality, and that is self-management. And when you're practicing self-management, leadership becomes a natural personality because you are a high vibrational personality. A leader can be a parent. A leader can be a team member. Anybody can be a leadership personality. Leadership is not just by position. Leadership is by the vibration the person carries. And the present time needs everyone to carry that leadership quality. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Didi, you simply mesmerized us with your thoughts full of positive energy. Thank you so much. We have questions pouring in from various parts of the country and various countries over the world. Can we please take some questions now? A lot of people still are not clear about the difference between spirituality and religion. Can you help us draw distinction between the two?
Religion, in Hindi, the word is dharam. And dharam, the meaning is duty. So, what is our religion? Which means, what's the religion of the soul? What's the duty of the soul? The duty of the soul is those 7 qualities: to be peaceful, powerful, loveful, pure, wise, happy, and blissful. This is the duty of the soul. This is the dharam of the soul. This is the religion of the soul. Every prophet that came on the planet, every prophet. So then just go back and see all the prophets who came in this world. Each one taught us the religion of the soul. Each one was teaching us only these 7 qualities. Each one was teaching us we are united, we are a family. Each one was saying God is one, there is a higher power, we are all united, peace, love, unity, compassion. Did anyone teach anything which was against this? Everyone taught the same thing. But teachers were different. Teaching was same. So teachers had different ways of expressing it. Teachers had different ways of saying it. Some teachers said, pray at this time of the day. Another teacher said, pray at this time of the day. Some teachers said, pray 5 times a day. Another teacher said, you can pray twice a day. Everyone was saying the same thing in different ways and different lifestyle habits. but the teaching was the same. And that's why if anyone goes and studies the teachings of another religion, they'll say, oh, even my religion teaches the same thing. Everyone was teaching the same thing. But what happened over a period of time, instead of connecting to the teaching, we connected to the teacher. If we would have connected to the teaching, we would have been united because every teaching was unity. We connected to the teacher and then we said, you're different, I am different. Then within that one religion also, different teachers. So you're different, I am different. You're different, I am different. And very soon, that same religion, which was meant to unite, we made it a reason to divide, and we can make it a reason to come to fights and war. That's us. That's not about nothing to do with the religion. That's about how we are perceiving that religion. So spirituality, what does it do? Spirituality is only teaching us what religion taught us. That's all. Spirituality is not doing anything different. Spirituality is just teaching us what our religion taught us in simple layman language so that everybody can connect to it, and nobody is creating any barriers of I am this, I am that. Everyone's saying I am a soul, and purity, peace, love, blessings, bliss is my personality. But that is the same thing which religion had taught. So religion and spirituality is not different. Only thing is, in religion, over a period of time, not initially, over a period of time, we started focusing only on what we are doing outside, on what we're doing outside. Those were little things to remember so that it would create an inner change. But we started after some time doing it only outside and forgot the change that we have to create inside. So spirituality only came and reminded us that everything that you are doing outside is supposed to create a shift inside. So it's like an alarm clock. It's like an alarm clock. Most of us use an alarm clock to wake up in the morning. But after some time, we don't need an alarm clock. We can wake up without the alarm clock. So a lot of our rituals, our festivals are like that alarm clock. They come as specific times of the week and the year to wake us up, awakening to a new way of living. There are three options when that alarm rings. One, alarm rings, wake up. So we are awakened on the day of the ritual and the festival. Second option of the alarm clock, it rings, listen to it, and then go press there and go back to sleep. And which means celebrate the festival outside. Next day, back to same way of living. And third way is you don't need an alarm clock anymore. You don't need an alarm clock anymore. You're leading an awakened life. So it all depends which option we are choosing. So it's not different. Spirituality is only teaching us what religion taught us for so many years.
What, according to you, is the spirituality at workplace?
Spirituality at workplace. So imagine every individual using these 7 qualities of peace, love, happiness, bliss, power, purity, and wisdom. Everyone using that. How would the workplace be? How would the workplace be? How would relationships be? And most important, one quality which spirituality brings is a quality of cooperation, sharing, and caring. Spirituality makes it very clear there is no such thing as competition. And competition at workplace is actually the cause of a lot of stress. The work is not the cause of stress. It's this competition, jealousy, two people sitting in adjacent cabins, but they are competitors. So you're like in a race every single day for your entire life, not just competing with another organization, but competing with the person sitting next to you. So it's like you're sitting with, words are very strong, person who is sitting next to you. So then that energy of cooperation, the energy of harmony, the energy of belongingness, that energy of being happy when the other person does well, that energy is all over. And when that's over, battery starts discharging because we are in competition. So a very, very big belief system that gets cleared is there is no competition. Each soul is on a journey, and two things are important, our sanskars and our karma. Our karma is very important, and our success will be proportionate to our karma. So they will get, depending on their karma, I will get depending on my karma. I'm not in a race with anybody. That changes quality of life. So competition is one thing that will move away from business and work. If we use a spiritual lifestyle, some people think then we will not achieve, but it's something to be experimented with. And most important, spirituality at work would mean not focus so much on how much you achieve and earn, but first focus on how you achieve and earn. Kitna kamaya, kaise kamaya. And those who will focus on kaise kamaya, how we earned, will earn more than their capacity. They will earn more than their capacity. But most important, they will be happy and contented while earning, not stressed and anxious while earning. So comfortable in both the worlds, inner world and outer world. So spirituality at workplace is really extremely important.
I have a few questions from Sri Suresh Kotak, who is our senior member of the council of the chamber. He is a philosopher and guide to our chamber. Due to some personal reasons, he is not able to join us today. He's conveyed his pranam to you, Didi. His question is, Mother Teresa and Sant Tulsiji has advocated compassion and love to mankind. How this can be implemented in the present situation and circumstances?
Compassion is also very important at workplace. Compassion first means understanding the other person. Compassion means when you're emotionally charged, which means your inner power is high, you have the ability to give because you're able to understand other people, you're able to empathize, you don't react, you have a lot to give. When we are stressed and anxious, we suffer from something called as a compassion fatigue, which means we are not able to think about other people. We are so troubled in our own minds. So that's why self-management is very important, because once we understand our mind, it becomes very easy to understand other people. We're able to understand why they are thinking like this, why are they feeling like this today, what must be going on in their mind, and we're able to take care of them, of those who are emotionally unwell. It's very easy to take care of people who are physically unwell because physical disease we can see. But how to take care of people who are emotionally unwell, which means if someone reacts, someone manipulates, someone dominates, someone takes credit of all the work that you have done in office, you have to understand they're emotionally unwell. And when you understand they're emotionally unwell, you're very caring and compassionate towards them. You don't get affected by what they have done and go into pain here. So compassion is needed always. It's needed at work, but compassion is directly proportional to how much you energize yourself daily, which means you will shift from being a seeker to being a giver if you energize yourself daily. So that's compassion. Somebody who's here will not be able to be compassionate because they are not filled themselves. How will they be able to give?
His second question is, management is explained in Gita Adhyay number 18. According to the said Adhyay, there are different kinds of management tools and analysis, causes which give rise to the problems and the spiritual solution. What guidance Brahma Kumari can offer on this aspect?
At the Brahma Kumaris, we focus a lot on the law of karma. So at every point of time, three aspects of time are taking part. Everything that is happening to us is a consequence of a past karma. Everything that's happening to us is a consequence of a past karma. So we will not blame anything for what's happening in our life because we take responsibility. This is a consequence of a past karma. And then focus completely on the present karma because the power lies in the present. Even now, a lot of people are saying, but why did this corona happen? What wrong karma had we done? Did we exploit nature and that's why nature is rebounding? Don't even need to think so much. Whatever is happening is a result of a past karma. But right now, we can't afford to waste thoughts and energy in thinking why, what, how. Now the focus has to be on the present karma. What is going to be the right karma now? So past is coming to us, present is getting created, and at the same time, future is getting decided. So it's very important to always keep the law of karma here in your every thought, word, action. Ways of living will change. This is the fundamental spiritual law which every human being needs to remember. It's like when you're driving on the road, you have to remember the laws of the country. You go to another country and drive, you have to know the law of that country. Similarly, you need to know the spiritual law so that you never say in life, why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? Why is my destiny like this? I am the creator of my destiny based on my karma. And that's why spiritual power, energizing, connecting with the higher power to do right karmas always.
I would now like to invite Nanik Rupani, who is our past president of the Regional Council and also the chairman emeritus of Priyadarshini Academy, to place his questions before you. Mr. Rupani, you can please unmute.
Okay. First of all, Shivani ji, my millions of compliments to you. You are doing a human service for humanity. You have changed millions and millions of lives of people through your spiritual teaching, by giving them confidence, and your YouTubes, I think all over the world people are watching. And what you have done, I think I have no words. I can go on speaking volumes and volumes about your good work. Now, the 10 thoughts what you have discussed, I think they are very important. But two things which are, according to me, are very important, which I would like to tell you. One is ego and one is fear. I would say ego is a death. Death of ego is a life. Because ego brings so much misery, jealousy, everything. And the fear is the biggest enemy of a human being. Because so many things will not happen. And बोलते हैं भगवान एक दरवाजा बंद करता है तो 10 दरवाजे खोल देते हैं. I feel the main important things we need. I am connected with several educational institutions, several hospitals, healthcare institutions. I think we need a revolutionary change in our education system. Till now, we have been talking about IQ, we have been talking about EQ, and now the SQ. I think if we start SQ from the kindergarten, and the students, they know the importance of SQ, and I don't think there will be so much violence. People will be more happy, and this is what I have been trying to pursue with all my. But still, I think we'll need long time that people will understand the importance of SQ in our education system. What is your view on that?
If we look at our history, the earlier education system used to be the Gurukul system. So in the Gurukul, even the child of the king would go to the Gurukul. So even the prince would have to go to the Gurukul to study, even though best teachers could come to the king's palace and teach the child. But even then, that prince had to go and stay in the Gurukul. And what was taught in the Gurukul was education of both the worlds. So there was hymns, there was Vedas, there was chanting, there was scriptures, there was meditation, there was yoga. So they were preparing the king for the inner world, and then there was education of the outer world. So before you become a ruler over your kingdom, you have to rule yourself. So the Gurukul was teaching self-management before they were teaching how to take charge of the kingdom. Somewhere over the period of time, we removed that part of self-management, and the education focused only on subjects of the outer world. So we thought this will be taken care of the family, and we will focus on the outer world. So if you see, right from school, we take all our subjects. We take singing, dancing, debating, art, culture, music, everything. Almost everything is covered except for this. There is nothing talked about or studied about this. So maybe only that has to come back, what we used to do. It just needs to come back into the education system.
I think you should also canvas for that whenever you talk. There's the most important.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Now I'm taking up the questions from the Q&A box, which have been recently put by the participants. There's a question from Miss Manju. We keep forgetting we are soul. How to maintain soul consciousness? imagining ourselves as point of light all day and forget body and its relations.
We don't have to forget body. We don't have to forget relationships. We are going to use our body. We are going to be in our relationships. Soul consciousness means using the 7 qualities of the soul in our every thought, word, and behavior. So when I'm using those 7 qualities, I'm aware that I'm a soul, and that awareness increases. But if I'm during using the other sanskars, then I'm in my ego consciousness. So soul consciousness is about 7 qualities of the soul.
Many people really want to know how can they learn Raj Yoga from you.
They can learn Raj Yoga at the center, which is near them. It's always good to go to the center, be in that ambience, be in that vibration. And then it's not about just learning for 7 days, it's about doing it regularly by being connected with the center. So it's important to connect to the center, which is nearest to you, and do it from there.
In the present times, it's a challenging time when we need to strike a balance between carrying on the economic activity and also reconciling the behavioral aspects of the people around in terms of the team and in terms of the colleagues. What is your guidance? How we can create an ability as an employer to create and bring sustainability in doing so?
Right now, the priority would have to be people first. People first, because this is just a phase of a couple of months. If we take care of the people mind and do that hand holding, there's a lifetime now for the business and the economy. We have very strong statements that we say for the business and economy. If we don't take care of the people, and in spite of how much effort we put in, we might not be able to create what we want to create for our organization. So it will have to be people first. Take care of the people, people will take care of your business. And that's a leadership quality, anyways. A leader should take care of the minds of people, the minds will take care of the business. But right now, those minds need little healing, little hand holding. And so the leader's role is in not just talking about business to their teams, and a leader could be a team leader of 5 people. So not just talking business, but taking care more of their minds. Business they will take care of, but minds is very important right now.
We have a question which is from Mr. Amitabh. And this question is particularly to ask the organizer at the chamber that what is the aim and the purpose and motto behind bringing this wonderful and indispensable program by Great Sister. So Didi, with your permission, on behalf of the chamber, I would like to address this question. Of course, Mr. Kar would have already learned from the discussions and the deliberations that we had that it is not about a situation where we have to enhance the economic activity. Of course, that's always an objective of the chamber, being an apex chamber, but it is about healing the minds of people and trying to create a platform wherein we are able to move on and able to reconcile with the situation. And that was the relevance of organizing this webinar and inviting none other than Didi, Sister Shivani ji, to address us on a topic which is so relevant and contemporary, spirituality.
It's the mind which is going to do the business, no? See, when we talk all about the business is so extremely important, yes. But who's going to do the business? It's the mind which needs to be doing the business. So current situation, because the mind is getting a little panicky, we need to just hold it there before it goes out of control and gets very, very anxious. So that's why each one just take care of your mind. Your business is safe. Out of this COVID situation, 2 kinds of minds will come out of this lockdown. Those who've used these few months the right way, which means they worked on themselves, they spent time, yoga, pranayama, meditation, thinking, they're going to come out like this. So after lockdown, they're going to be here, energized. And if minds were only consuming what's happening in the world, consuming movies, TV serials, panicking, then they're going to come a little like this. So be ready for both the kind of people when your workplace opens. You're going to have two different kind of people. Some would have gone there and some would have been here. Very difficult that they would be exactly where they were before COVID. So either they've become healthier or they've gone a little here. But you'll have two kinds of people coming to your workplace.
Very correct. Can we just have two more questions, Didi? I think it's time to allow us to take two questions. How to distinguish between normal and abnormal business profit while striking deals? Many people try to squeeze customers and take undue advantage of situation like shortage or crisis. This question is from Mr. Anand Pasari.
Now, this is, of course, a very personal decision which you have to take. But if you keep spirituality at the back of your mind, then you will always keep your karma as your priority. There are two things that you earn in every business transaction. A business transaction is not just a transaction of product and money. There are two things we earn in every business transaction. One is the money, and the second is the blessings which come with that money. So it's very important to earn money with blessings, which means the people who work with me and the people who work for me or who I work for, which means my team and my client, both should radiate blessings in that business transaction. If they radiate that, then that money comes home with that energy of blessings. And that's why in India, money is called Lakshmi, which means money is given the role of or the level of a deity, divine currency. So money has to come with blessings. There are four stages. Money, the money is used to buy the food. Food affects the mind. Mind affects the body. In Hindi, the word is very important. Dhan, dhan se an se man, or man se tan. So first part kaun sa ho gaya? Wo dhan. And that's why people say dhan is very important. Dhan is very important means the energy of the dhan is very important. If this money is coming home with an energy of someone's pain, so that's what you mentioned, exploiting somebody, pressurizing. So then that money is coming home, but it's coming with an energy of someone's pain. So the rest of the process plant, dhan, se an, se man, se tan, it will have an influence on the destiny of the family. And that's why we shared more than how much you earn. It's important how you earn. It's important how you earn. So in a business transaction, instead of only thinking what's the benefit for me in this, then the second way should be what's the benefit to my client. My client should benefit more than me. In the whole transaction, in the complete transaction, my client should benefit more than me. If there is contentment there, then there will be contentment here, because then I earn blessings. So it's a very different way of doing business. And it's very easy to do that. A simple fruit seller, you walk out one day after lockdown and you go and ask him for 1 kg apple. And you will find people who will say, Saab, aaj mera fruit mat lo aap, ye taza nahi hai aaj. You buy it from that another shop. You know what that businessman, he's also a businessman. You know what that businessman did that day? He didn't think about himself. He thought about the client. He prioritized client above his profit. And that day earned lot of blessings. And that person earned money for a lifetime. Because then you will go to him always, and everyone you tell will go to him always. Blessings first, money after that. Prioritize the client above yourself. That's spirituality. That is right karma. So the money comes with blessings, not with pain.
The last question for this session, that is from Mr. Ashish Ved. What is the best way to make negative people positive in these times to spread good vibrations? One easy way, please.
Very, very easy way. Very, very easy way. Just make yourself here. That's what I said. If people are here, you're here. Energy flows from a higher source to a lower source, right? So if you're here, then you're a walking around temple, gurdwara around them. You're going to cause peace and calm to them just by being who you are. See what happens when you walk into a temple, church, or mosque. Just walking in there, the mind feels at ease. because of the vibrations created by people. So similarly in a house, even if one person, even if one member, not 3 out of 4, just one, even if one member is practicing this kind of a lifestyle where you're energizing yourself daily, or you are originally emotionally very, very strong, then you are here, your vibrations influence the rest of the family. Just take care that in every interaction, you don't get influenced by their behavior. You remain who you are. Then you are becoming the influencer. So we have to become the influencer. The influencer will always have to be here. So just energize yourself. Your vibrations will energize everyone around you, especially children. This is a time to energize children also. So those 10 affirmations, please share them with your children. Even if they are 4, 5-year old, share it with them. They'll do it very well.
Very nicely said. So with this, Didi, I will like to invite our regional director, Ms. Rakhi Panda, to propose the vote of thanks and to give the concluding remarks.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rakhi Panda, the Regional Director of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, West India Council. So on behalf of the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, I thank all of you for attending this webinar today. And we are extremely, extremely privileged and honored to have Sister Shivani ji to, come over here and address our audience, address us today. It was so much inspiring. Thank you so much, Didi. Thank you so much for taking time out and imparting such motivating thoughts and life lessons with us. Especially since the time this COVID-19 has started and lockdown has started, we have been working from home. It's been really, really very stressful for all of us. So your thoughts and your advice is on maintaining that work-life balance. It really did. I mean, I'm so glad that you addressed that, and I'm surely going to implement that. And I'm sure all the 10 affirmations and all of that, all of us over here listening to you today will be implementing that, both not just for our personal life as well as for our professional life. So thank you so much, Didi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I would also like to thank our regional president, Mr. Naushad Panjwani, for giving me this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks when a speaker like Sister Shivani ji is there. So thank you so much, and Naushad, thank you for starting the webinar with such inspiring speech and setting the tone. Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge Mr. Saurabh Shah, our regional second vice president, for ideating and initiating this webinar and for moderating this session with utmost diligence. Saurabh, you've been a constant support, and your inputs for the program are hugely appreciated. Thank you so much. And we have our mentor, Mr. Nanik Rupani. He's our co-chair for advisory board, and he has been mentor for all our regional presidents and of course the secretariat. So thank you so much, sir, for taking time out and attending the session. Thank you so much. And I would also like to once again thank you, Karishma Kaushik Zaveri, for helping us getting connected to Sister Shivani ji and organizing this webinar. But I won't be doing justice if I don't thank Mr. Anand Kothari, who has been the technical support. Not just today, he has been supporting us for in spite of being a Sunday or a Saturday, he has always been attending the calls and guiding us through, has been literally hand holding us even before 2 minutes before the webinar went on live. So thank you, Anand. Thanks so much for all your support, because of which the program was absolutely glitch free in spite of being the first time doing it. So thank you so much. And of course, the wonderful secretariat that we have at IACC, Sujata Das, Vishnu Latish, without whom we have not been able to do this program. So thank you so much for devoting all your time, efforts. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for making this webinar so successful.